to Business Insight. It's always a delight to have you join us when a moment where we get to talk to persons that get to give us insight on what is happening. They get to demystify for us and let us know in layman language some of the issues, pertinent issues that are happening that we did not know as deeply as they do get to have. My name is Kem Chadorin. I will be taking you all through from 9 to 10. And I'm joined today by this amazing personality, Dr. Stephen Watiti, retired senior medical officer from Mildmay International. He's right now into health promotion and advocacy, especially around the thematic area of HIV/AIDS. We will be talking about a couple of issues, but let me just get him in at the moment. Delighted to have you, Doctor.
Blessed. Blessed.
I know we can go over and over about who is blessed. I think we are more blessed to have you.
I'm blessed because as an old man to be able to see you, I don't know the Gen Z or millennial, those two terms.
We are very confusing.
Very confusing, yeah, but really blessed to be here this morning.
Thank you for making time.
Thank you.
Doctor, we have been talking about, all through the last couple of days, we have been having conversation on and off camera about the cost implications of HIV and AIDS. When we get to talk about it on the African content, you are way above us when it comes to the statistics. When it comes down to Uganda as well, you beat us hands down because this has been your docket for quite a while.
I've been, of course, in health provision.
Yes.
I started working as a doctor long ago.
Way back.
2004.
Yes.
I mean, 1984, but from 2004 I was doing HIV medicine alone.
2004?
Yeah, that's when I moved to Mildmay, Uganda.
Okay.
To work as a medical officer, senior medical officer. And so treating, well, malaria. Of course, we treat malaria, but my main docket was HIV management.
Yes.
So I'm an HIV clinician.
And it is very good we have you because that is our topic. Yeah. That is the undertone of our topic today. We are going to be looking at the cost implication as a burden, really, of the HIV and AIDS scourge. Remember, recently, in the last couple of weeks, we've had, we've had reports talking about the increase in the rates of new infections happening all over Uganda. But then we also want to be keen as well on the strategy. What is the strategy? Is this particular strategy, when it comes down to activities such as safe male circumcision, is there a particular rebound? Is there a problem in the way it is being approached? Is this the only one in isolation? Dr. Watiti is going to be giving us some of the insight into demystifying, actually, is going to demystify what happens when you take those ARVs drugs. Not so many of us get to know all the intricacies, the complexities of this. He will give it to us in layman language. And then we'll come down to the cost implications as well, but also looking at the strategy that Uganda is currently taking. Just let me give you just a little bit. According to the World Bank director, in 2012, they mentioned that investing in data collection on the drivers of the epidemic is key to making the national HIV/AIDS response more effective and achieving better health and social outcomes. And it was in 2012 predicted or forecast that the future treatment costs would be heaviest in South Africa and Uganda. Now remember, of course, we do know that surely Uganda is amongst those that have a high burden on the African continent of treatment. But the annual facility level cost of HIV treatment care support to adult HIV patients ranged from 254,000 to 824,000 within a median of right now 567,000 for a year per adult HIV infected person. This is quite a drop from the millions and millions that used to be there.
Yeah, because I remember when I started taking ARVs in 1999, 2000, where there was no program. So we buying them from the black market, as it were.
Yes.
And it was costing me about $500, I think I remember, around that time.
Around that time. That was over 1 million.
Yeah,
yes.
It was.
If you take it at a rate of around 2,500,
then
maybe.
Put the current value, net value. Of course, that money was
quite a lot then.
So it had come down, but still, the cost, I think, is beyond the cost of ARVs. Remember the cost when you, the time wasted was spent, and the transport costs. So it's a lot higher.
It is.
Yeah, but you have to look at the cost. Some of the cost is people die. That's also a cost. Yeah, or people are sick. They are not able to work. It's a cost. Yeah. So there are a lot of costs that I don't. But I'm not a health economist. But I'm really a consumer, because as I told you, I'm a clinician, but I'm also a person living with HIV.
Yes.
So I know the importance of bringing this down to people to understand.
Yes.
You see, when you go, for example, to the clinic, they say the ARVs are free. But we know there's no free lunch anywhere.
Exactly.
Everybody, there is a cost, somebody has to pay. So that's why we need to let our people know, the whole nation, the person to know that it is a cost for all of us. It's a cost to the taxpayer. It's a cost to everybody.
Yes.
We need to bring this down. And I believe we have the power, knowledge to bring this down. And fortunately, and we did it. Because one time at the highest we had, I think the prevalence was 18% nationally. Now it's at 5.2. Although, of course, what's worrying us are these pockets where, for example, in some places it is for 12, 13.
Yes, it's going back up.
13, 12, especially in cities. I think Mbarara, Port Poto, and I think Soroti, they are among the highest.
Yeah.
And then looking at these different categories, that is actually now, because there was a time when the highest prevalence was among married couples.
Yeah, which was shocking when that was relieved.
You get married and avoid getting HIV, so it looks like getting married was...
I remember very well.
You get married quickly, and even our own president has told us, you get
recently. Exactly. And this is why we are coming back to strategy. Yeah. What is happening? There are lots of mixed feelings about this, because I remember that time, till today it stands out for me, when these research findings were released about that. Because we knew for sure being married was the only way you would keep safe. Yes? Being married was the only way you keep safe. Staying away from cross-generational sex during that time was huge, so that you can be able to jump. If you can manage this part and jump into and go to the marriage boat, then you would
be. Then you are safe. But it became. But now, of course, we know that it's affecting more what I call
younger
adolescent girls and young women. They're the ones who are bearing the brunt of the infections, with about 1,000 infections weekly.
Per week?
Per week, yes.
In Uganda?
Yes, which translates, but most of them are young women. So you can see. Yes. The problem with HIV is that, of course, when you get infected, nothing happens.
You can't know
You come and work here, you may get a flu-like illness, but you work. But this
business continues.
It continues. You start dating, which I have come to understand, meaning having sex with somebody whom you are not married, which I did not know. When the young people say they're dating, I didn't know they're saying they're having sex with somebody.
Things have changed. Things have changed.
And then you can even go on study. You know, HIV is very subtle. It's called the lentivirus. Lent, that period of Lent, a long period.
Yes.
The lentivirus is slow.
Oh.
They are not fast like the Ebola virus.
Yes.
If you get Ebola today, by the time you get a bus to go to Rukungiri, by the time you may be dead. But HIV, you can get it. Take 3-5 years.
You're asymptomatic. Okay. Yes.
Actually, when you get like today, if you get infected, even when they test you,
it can't be picked up.
That's why when people say, I'm negative, but when you've tested, we don't know what you did last night.
Yeah.
You could have tested today and you are negative, and yet you had a sexual encounter last night.
Yes.
And when they test you today, you are negative. There's what they call the window period.
Yes.
It's gone off for about 3 weeks to 6, 6 weeks, or maybe.
Yes.
Or 3 months. But after that, you test positive, but remain asymptomatic. Symptoms comes later.
Much later.
And they are not uniform. For example,
they vary.
They vary. They may come early in some people. So by the time you end up with AIDS, which I had in 1999, when I had TB, cancer, meningitis, it has taken a long period maybe up to 15 years. Now, 15 years you can do it. If you're in the Uganda education system, you can even get a PhD.
In 15 years.
Yeah, if you're in politics, you can become big man.
You can go on with your life.
Yes.
Yes.
Then, when you are up there,
it hits you again.
In Africa, we say, no, they abused you. Really, have just got your money and then you die. But really, to be fair to this, if I may be the devil's advocate, it gives you time. That's why information is important. People need to know. You can enjoy today, but if you don't enjoy responsibly, for example, you're having a sexual relationship, and you're not using protection, you don't know the HIV status of the person you're having HIV with as a sex with.
Yes.
It's risky. I always tell people it's like closing your eyes and crossing Kampala Road. Of course you can cross. They might see you, but there's a risky business. Why should you do that?
Yes. But the fact about it, Doctor, that is so concerning right now is that Uganda did so well. You know, it was a model, a champion country. Yes, it was quite a champion country.
Yeah, we used
the darling of the health.
Yes, we won awards, accolades.
Yes, but now
that's why we brought the prevalence down. But I think we celebrated
a little bit too early. But there was reason to celebrate.
Yes, of course, there's always reason to celebrate.
So what went wrong?
Well, I think nothing went wrong, but this virus, if you do the right things, which we did.
Which we did then.
As we had them then. Because we told people, I remember we used what they call it.
The ABC.
ABC. Because we didn't have anything. We had billboards. Abstain.
Yes.
Meaning don't have sex. But look, we have a very young population. So telling... I think, I don't know the statistics, what I haven't seen, but most, maybe over 60% current below 35, I think more from the current recent.
Actually,
so that means these are people who are sexually active.
According to WHO, the prevalence of HIV among, from 15 and to 65 is, in Uganda, is 6.2 among females. And 4.7 among males.
Yeah, but so we used that, and being faithful, which is a bit subtle. Many Ugandans, when you say faithful, they will say they're faithful.
Yes, but behind closed doors in the dark, you don't know what's happening.
It's difficult to evaluate, because it's you telling us, we don't know how it is. And I always, when I was in the clinic, I used to ask married women, say, how long have you been married? 15 years. Oh, congratulations. Because I see the rings.
Yes.
Then I would ask them, how many people have you had sex with in the last 15 years? And most women would say, what do you mean?
Yes, how can you ask me a question like that? It's very intrusive.
Yes. And also, I'm married, and I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim.
Yes.
I turned the same question around. How many women do you think your husband has sex with in the last 15 years? And say, but you know men.
Oh, and that's where
and
now
the
network came in. That's where the network came in.
We are not, it is all or nothing.
Yes.
If you are having, so there is what we call concurrent multiple sexual partners. You are having nanomancy, but you are having also chemikisha, you are having nambozo.
All at the same time.
Yes.
All at the same time.
So that is where the problem is. So it just needs one of them to have HIV.
And it will just spread like wildfire.
The whole group will have it.
I remember that campaign was very effective.
It was. Yeah, but now...
Get off the sexual network. Up to now, I still remember.
The best bullet we have now, in my opinion, as a person living with HIV, but also as a clinician, is looking at treatment. If we got all these people who are already infected, and we know we have to do it if they went and did an HIV test.
Yes.
And because when they do an HIV, like I've explained, and you first take history, say, how old are you? Are you married? When did you last have sex? And if you told me the truth, did you use a condom? You told me the truth. Did you know the HIV status of the person? You told me the truth. Then when I do an HIV test, I will interpret the results depending on what you've told me.
Yes.
But if you told me lies,
you'll never know what to treat.
Like I've said, if you got infected last night and I test you today, I say, no, you are negative. Then there are those who are already positive, like me. If we do what they call viral load, if we suppress the viral load,
by being consistent,
by swallowing the medicine on time,
yes,
and avoiding what we call harmful practices. One can swallow medicine, but you do things which make the medicine not work well for you. For example, you take a lot of alcohol, you eat unhealthy foods, or you don't have enough food to eat. So these are the things which make sure the medicine is not working well. And your viral load is not suppressed. And when your viral load is not suppressed, it means
you can pass it on. Very
high risk. When your viral load is suppressed, you cannot pass on. Actually, that's why we have a slogan called undetectable.
Yes,
you is untransmittable.
You is equal to you.
Yes, and we have seen this, especially amongst women who are positive, who are put on ARVs, and that viral load is suppressed. Most of them, actually, when I was at Mildmay, I never had any of my patients during the time I was there who had suppressed, who produced a child
who was positive. Yes, most children would be negative.
Unfortunately now, for example, if you look at the statistics, we have close to 5,000 babies who are born with HIV in this country.
As of today?
Yes. These statistics are there in the Uganda AIDS Commission, if you check the website. What is this? It means there are many women out there, they are pregnant, but they have a very high viral load. And many of them don't know they have HIV.
But the checking, the testing at the antenatal clinics was very successful.
It's still tested, and we encourage every woman who goes for antenatal, because they're pregnant, to test.
It was very successful.
And we encourage every person that, for example, when you miss your period, one period, not period at most, go to see a doctor. And when you see a doctor or a health worker, they should do an HIV test. Because HIV is a sexually transmitted
disease.
So when you are pregnant, means you have been having unprotected sex. That's what we are happy we are going to have a baby. But could you have been infected with HIV at the same time? Most women, by the way, when they test, they are negative. Unfortunately, human beings, I think, are the only animals that have sex, that continue having sex when the female is pregnant. Because I've not seen this in animals.
Yes.
But so many women who transmit HIV could get infected when they're already pregnant. The other thing is that when you test a woman, the men, this is what I want to say, especially to men.
Please,
it would be great if when your wife is going for antenatal,
to go along with her.
Go, hold hand in hand, be the proud man, say this is mine, and test together. Because she could be negative,
and you're positive.
And you're positive.
And then she'll pack her things, discordant couples. She'll pack her things.
Then when you go home, you celebrate, then you infect her. Or, you know you are positive, she's negative, but you're on treatment, but you're not taking the medicine very well, and your viral load is high. So to protect the baby and your spouse, it would be great to ensure that your viral load. But I would encourage people, even when, to use condoms. Because I've said that the viral load is suppressed and detected, but it's not 100%.
It's not 100%.
So they're just like when you build a nice house, you build a wall around it to protect yourself. But you put a razor wire on top, put cameras, you get a guard. This is called combination.
Yes.
A combination of different strategies. So I would tell her, men, why don't you use condoms when you have sex with a lady who is pregnant for pleasure? Because she's not going to get pregnant again.
Yes.
It's not for procreation. They should do this. And imagine that other sexually transmitted illnesses, gonorrhea, syphilis, hepatitis B, all these are sexually transmitted.
Yes.
So you see, this man is having sex with his wife, but he's having sex with a collegiate office. And this is fairly common.
Yes, it is. And it's actually, it's this so-called, we can call it laxity. This laxity in sexual behavior is on the increase. It's on the increase right now.
It's on the increase. And unfortunately, we can't change.
Yes. So what?
Overnight, I turn them into Baroko
and yes, this is why we say, can we be able to take some very good relook at our strategies, and maybe, because clearly whatever we are doing is not working.
We are going backwards. Need to personalize the risk. Every couple needs to personalize the risk. The risk is there, but it is happening at individual level.
At individual, oh,
so instead of looking at the whole country, we're at risk, which is true.
Yes, it is very easy for you to go under that blanket of the entire country.
The two of you look at your risk and come up with a strategy. But if it's a government, indeed, government puts in places strategies, but it's not going to work unless every person
takes the initial responsibility.
And I want to challenge men to be the leaders in this. Talk about this with your spouse and talk about it with children.
As well.
Yes, let's talk to children. Because as I've said, most of the infections now are amongst adolescent girls and young women. These are our children.
Yes.
But what is causing this? They are what they call inequalities. That is this girl's face. For example, some men of them are not in having good quality education. Those who are in good schools don't hardly think about, they may have sex, which they shouldn't,
Yes.
But when the children are put in school and they are busy, they are running, they are thinking of going to university, going to...
Idleness is the devil's workshop.
Yes. By the time they realize they are 18, and at 18, a girl can look in the face and no, I am not going for this. I'm going to university. Babies, no. I want to have a baby in the future, but not now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, it has been told that the longer a girl stays in school, or even a boy, the less prone they are to that. But of course, you also have the other fact. Other research findings continuously say that the lack of life skills is also something else that is detrimental. The lack of it.
Communication skills.
Yes. Because you can come out exactly, and all those are under life skills. So you have lots and lots of girls there that right now have graduated or are right now within their first year and second year. But when you reach there as a boy to talk to them, she cannot negotiate. She cannot negotiate and say,
okay, yes,
exactly.
You want this, I also want it, but
can we wait? Or can we use a condom? All that is happening, right? Intelligent girls and boys out there.
They say, oh no, we can't take on condom. Okay, let's wait. I'm not going to run away. Let's sleep.
Yes.
Tomorrow we can have sex. That's negotiation.
That's negotiation. And being assertive.
Yes.
All those are life skills.
Yeah.
But let us get even down into it, Dr. Otiti. You have seen so many. Maybe they cannot come out and tell you, as a retired clinician, you were at the forefront because you would have conversations with them every now and then. And this reverts back, really. It comes back into our strategy. Like I'm saying, we are looking at the cost implications. And even the cost implications, because it is so wide, we are just putting it within the bracket of treatment and supportive functions. Because now we cannot get into the fact that now you're sick, you cannot take care of your family. The fact that when you die, then
the whole village will not work.
Exactly.
And they have to eat rice and kill a cow. And so all those are costs.
And woe unto you if you go to work, you'll have problems in the village.
That's true.
Because you've not buried the other person.
It will be tough.
And then we also look at the implication, the cost implications of now you have died, your children cannot access school. All this goes on.
It is tough, and that's one of the big problems we've had is the orphans and vulnerable children. Yeah. The cost is high.
Yes.
And then it feeds into
it's cyclical. It's cyclical.
These children become more vulnerable to HIV.
Exactly.
A mother died, a father died. Now the children may end up on the street.
Yes.
Or end up
not being productive citizens, really. But let us keep it even in the context. Let us even keep these cost implications in the context because it is so wide. It
is wide, yeah.
We also know for sure that when it comes to any spending, any expenditure, Uganda for very many years has been able to reach where it is and have all these milestones because 85% of that budget has often been through external funding.
Yeah, and we thank God for
we were lucky,
we're partners, and we thank God for our government that they were able to negotiate those.
But that has decreased.
It has decreased, but as they say in Kampala, why should we do this? And then secondly, I like this Luganda saying that that when you lose somebody,
yes,
and you make an alarm, look, I've lost people, and the person, then people come gather. You don't just step back, You are the one who stands there and make sure you carry the other person.
Yes.
Even if he's thinking, you are the one who has this. Yes. So we would like to ensure that the budget for health, yes, the budget for health, and HIV in particular. But this is a health issue. These tassels, the mild maize, they came in because there was a crisis. But we need to integrate, for example, now. Instead of me going to, I can go to any health center, just like you can go and pick malaria medicine or pressure medicine, to pick my ARVs at a cost, of course.
Yes.
But then, and you can see that when you treat people, if you saw me in 1999,
you look bad.
So sick. They had to carry me, they had to wash me. The medicine cost, I was not working, people had to buy the medicine. But now look at me.
Yes.
I'm able to work.
You're back to normal.
I pay my taxes. So I would like those taxes when I've paid, that they keep me what. But the good thing is this, Doreen, if we got these people who are already infected and put them on treatment, good treatment like I've said, then the rates would come down. People are going to have sex anyway.
Yes.
Let's face it. An unprotected sex. Because just like the Bible says,
you can't.
God did not want divorce, but because of hardness of heart, He gave them guidelines. This is what you do. Not that He liked it. The same here. People, I would love our children to abstain.
To abstain.
And to be in school, and the men to treat, especially older men like me, to treat these children as well. But that may not happen overnight. So that's why I'm appealing people who are already positive.
Please,
yes,
look at them.
I would like to appeal to all people who are positive like me to ensure that the medicine is there. You take your medicine with good adherence. Meaning, when they say you swallow at 10 a.m., you swallow at 10 a.m. That's what you agreed. And then, that way, the viral load will be suppressed. That way, it means you cannot transmit HIV
to
easily.
Someone else.
Yeah. But then, there are these people, the majority of Ugandans who are not yet infected.
Can you also be aware and take personal responsibility?
Don't assume that we who are positive are the ones to protect you. I know there is a law.
That they should declare.
Yes. But why should you? Maybe there should be another law that those who also are HIV negative and know it, or don't know it,
yes,
should not commit an offense. But anyway, that's not. But anyway, because the majority of Ugandans are not infected.
Yeah.
The over 40, maybe over 43 million or so. I don't know. Now, because now I'm told we are about 45.
We're much more.
So over 44 million are not infected. Only about 1.4 million are infected.
Yes.
And most of these, by the way, are on treatment. And
around 1.2.
Yes, and most of those who are on treatment, over 90%, almost 90% are suppressing. So they are not transmitting.
Yes.
There's a very small group of people who are not on treatment. Some of them don't know they have HIV. And those who are on treatment, and they are not very sick. Because when you are very sick, you can't even go for those things.
Yes.
Yeah. But those who are not sick, then they are transmitted. So we need to work as a partner. So prevention should be a shared responsibility of those who are negative and know it.
Yes.
The problem is that many people who are negative don't know it.
Who are negative don't know it?
Yeah, because they assume they are negative. You call typical Uganda on the street. When did you last do HIV? You go and check. Go on Kampala Road and ask, when did you last do an HIV test? They will not say, I did it 2 years back.
No, I don't remember. But when you ask them, are they negative? Do you think you're positive? They say, no, I'm not, because I am not active. Yeah. I am not active.
Yeah, but you may have had sex 5 years ago, but you got infected. So
and it is...
You're not active, but you're infected. But then there are also some people who are born with HIV.
Yes.
They've never had sex, but they are positive. So the only way to know whether somebody is positive or not is one HIV test. Maybe we need a day when we say from today.
Yes.
From citizen number 1.
Yes.
All of us should
all of you go.
As a country.
That one would work. If only the census did not work that much. After waiting a couple of hours, others went to work.
We need to check. We need to check, and then when we are negative, we know what to do.
By force.
Well,
it cannot
force.
Be by force, it's consensual. You can't force anyone to do that.
In a country like ours, you can't enforce.
No.
Which one?
Because, and this is why I was bringing in the census. The census, which was by law, you're supposed to be there, and then still we had Ugandans.
They think for themselves are also HIV, there are those who are infected.
But what are we looking at? We're looking at the different strategies that can be undertaken.
No. I think the most important is what we are doing now.
Yes,
giving
cost
people
implication,
giving people information.
That will come back.
As much information as possible and let them make informed decisions. We will reach a point when a critical number of people has enough information and act on it. And we'll bring this down.
Yes.
You know, every week I write an article for the New Vision. It's called Towards Zero. My hope is that by 2030 I'll be about, it's about how many years? 6 years from now.
Yes.
Because that's what we hope, that we shall have 0 new infections.
Yes.
I'm not sure, but we could go for the lowest lying fruit. And I want to suggest this. Why don't we go for babies?
For the babies?
Yes.
That all babies?
No, that we shall have 0 new
yes, among children.
Yes. This is because...
But Uganda was doing so well, it really brought down those rates.
Yeah, but we didn't come to 0. So until we get to 0, it will not happen.
But you're telling me now the rates are back to 1,000 on a daily. Children born, being
1,000 weekly for the whole country.
Yes.
And the children is lower, of course, but we have about 5,000 infections. One time we came down to less than 3,000. Uganda was almost declared that we had beaten pediatric HIV.
Yes.
So I would like to appeal to all people,
and please,
especially women. Please, when you are pregnant, go and do an HIV test. Now, once you have convinced your husband with whom or your partner, and test. And most of you will be negative, by the way, which is good. But those few who are positive, please, let's protect our babies, our children. At least by 2030, let's say that, okay, we have failed with men, with the adults, but there was no baby who was what? Who was born HIV positive, yes. And then we go further, that we go to the other end, even deaths. People are going to die. But should they die of AIDS? No. No. They can die of other things, like old age. But that is not easy. We are still losing 17,000. And it has also been blamed. It's good that you, Doctor, you say that it is not easy. Why it has also been thrown back into the docket of the government, with many pointing a finger at some of the government strategies. For example, if we look at safe male circumcision, and personally, I have heard, and I'm not even, this is not an isolated case, I'm not the only one, because it has been brought out that when you get out there within the communities, most of these, the different partners implementing this, the way they rally and calling these men to come and get circumcised. It's as if the moment you get circumcised, you're bulletproof. You're armor-plated. No. You are bulletproof. Circumcision is a strategy. It reduces the risk by, I think, by about 60%. It's true that people who are circumcised are at lower risk. But my point about all of that, for us, we are so zealous about circumcision that if you die, and we check and you circumcise, we actually circumcise you before we bury you. Well, that's how zealous we are. As if it matters. But we get infected. The infections are higher, in fact, among them. So it is not that alone. It should be put in perspective. It reduces the risk, does not remove it away. Just like building a wall around your house does not mean you are safe. What concerns those who are concerned about this is the fact that in communication, this is not, what you are saying is not put out there properly. Because communication is not easy. You get someone who is desperate, yes, down there does not actually want to get it, and to get an infection. And then you, in your own way, as you're blasting this music under the tent, you are actually saying, come, you will decrease your chances of getting HIV once you get circumcised, which is the truth. But that alone, that information in isolation is a bomb. Is a bomb that can go off. Why? Because, Doctor, we've had conversations and even listened into other conversations with others, and they tell you, let me get okay, let my wound heal, and you will see what I'm going to do out there. And this is true. Yeah, of course, young people will be young people, but when you are encouraging people to be circumcised, again, you don't have to mix to tell them, no, but anyway, this is not going to help you. It's like selling tomatoes. you must have come with it. So marketing is a language. Yes. Yeah, but once you do it, and I think I was writing an article on this, And I said, look, it is a good thing, but it doesn't mean that you are
bulletproof.
Safe. Still, we must use these others. Condoms are very important. So, you reduce the risk, but it doesn't mean that you are now good to go. Use condoms. In any case, most of the sexual encounters are not for baby making.
Yes.
Yeah. So use condoms. And but I think like I said earlier, if we put all people who are positive on ARVs and they suppress, the risk will be reduced further. But again, it will not be zero yet. Yeah. Because again, we have to. So that's why I'm advocating for
that as number one.
Number one. But we should not see badmouth circumcision. It's a good thing.
Yes.
Women should encourage their husband to be circumcised. That actually also protects women from what we call cancer of the cervix. Because on the skin is where there is this virus which causes cancer of the cervix lives. It's called which he considers HPV. So when you
under the foreskin of the man.
Under the foreskin, there is substance there which normally keeps the virus. So when you clean it up, it reduces the risk. So it also other cost or benefits.
Other positive. But why time? You know,
they are there. It's only that.
Why is it on the increase right now?
Auntie, when you get a problem, you know HIV is called a communicable disease. When one person gets it,
yes,
and you don't block it, then it gets in the community. For example, HIV started, when I first heard about it, it started among what they call homosexuals.
Yes, the gay community.
But you see, we thought, this is we call it gay-related immunodeficiency syndrome. We thought this was their problem. But the problem wasn't because it was gay, it was sexual.
Yes.
It was sexually transmitted. Never mind, these people were having homosexual sex. When they came here, they ended up in the heterosexual group. That is what has carried on the stigma associated with HIV. But we now know better. We know it is because of unsafe sexual practices.
Yes.
This could be homosexual or heterosexual. It doesn't matter. You may be having sex with your wife. So long as she has HIV, she's not on treatment, you don't use a condom, you'll be infected. Somebody can rape, which is very bad, and the person who is raped gets infected. Or the person who rapes gets infected from the person they have raped. You get?
Yes.
So this is this thing. So we need to reduce what I would call the community viral load. But that doesn't mean we should stop the other things. We should teach our children to abstain. And the people who are married, be faithful.
Not only teaching them to abstain, but saying it is possible. That is also another thing.
And the only way you can say it is possible
you know that
is
you can teach
yourself to share your...
that it is possible to abstain.
Yes.
Do you know that children, more and more children, and even the adolescents are coming up and thinking that it is impossible to abstain once you get into the adolescent stage.
And I think it's also a crisis in parenting, that many parents cannot say, look, I abstained and I'm here.
I didn't die.
I didn't die. I had a baby. I had you after abstaining. And secondly, we need also parents to say, for example, I'm faithful. I have been married for 15 years. I have not had sex with
anyone else apart from
your father or your mother.
Yes.
But many of our parents can't say that. I'm not saying
not all.
This is easy.
Yes.
I'm sure they are there, but do they say it? Let's talk to our children about sex. Let's be able to let them see us. But talking is easy. Let them see us behaving responsibly. Because HIV is a family disease.
And it has huge cost implications.
It should be found at the family level. So, with all due respect, we can say government strategies are not working, but what are the family strategies everyone has? What strategy do you have as a person? I know government has its role.
But the government is supposed to be reminding us. The government. I think we need to have more proactive stances towards preventive.
No, I know.
Preventive strategy.
I always like it when I go to political or whatever rally, and they should say that. These days I've been arguing that all parish development model should be messaging also on this.
Yes,
on
it should be embedded.
On health,
it should be embedded.
And my friend, you cannot give what you don't have. That's why. It's true that if you call Dr. Wati to talk about the weather, most likely we'll end up talking about HIV also. If you call somebody who does not know much about HIV, who doesn't have comprehensive knowledge, and I'm not saying this to belittle any person.
No.
But we need to network. We need to network.
But the same way, thematic areas like gender, thematic areas like poverty alleviation, all these.
Actually, there is a government which they call it mainstreaming.
Yes, exactly.
And by the way, with all due respect, the government has allowed, that 0.01% of all the budgets by ministries and MDAs are spent on what? On HIV.
Yes.
This is there.
Yes.
Unfortunately, some of this money is not spent on anything else. Maybe they use it on World AIDS Day, but it should be spent on...
Because I know for sure that most of the projects, by the time you have that component, whether it's GBV, HIV, gender, all those are, as it used to be. That is what I want, Dr. Watiti.
Why? Maybe this is the beginning. Let's start a revolution. But let's start it. I remember when I was being taught catechism in Uganda, they said, so let's go and start home, Doreen. Start, and I start, and we share with our neighbors. We can start a revolution. But seriously, we need this conversation to be at the dinner table, at the prayer meetings, at the drinking joints before people become tipsy.
Yes.
On chat groups. These days, people are more on chat groups.
Yes, yes.
But they're posting all sorts of things. When you post anything about health, they trivialize it.
Yes. And this trivializing is not just, it gives you just a little bit of a sneak peek into how trivial this is regarded.
But this is serious business because it costs lives.
It costs lives, but also that Uganda does not have that capacity to actually stand and fund on its own. It doesn't.
I don't think there's any country which has capacity, especially if they're overwhelmed by disease. You look at it, even very good health system like the NHS in UK, how they almost crumbled under COVID.
Now we should even be more worried.
Yeah. So if those very highly developed countries can struggle, what shall we do? So we really need to do our best and make sure we bring this down.
But doctor, you see, this is things. These are things that we are concerned about, and we know for sure that because others have failed during the COVID period, well-established health systems were grappling under this and really almost collapsing. What about us? What about us who have whole challenges? Why can't the government research this? Not only just, I know it has done quite well in bringing all this together and saying, come and have your uptake of ARVs, have this and this, but isn't there something that can be done on preventive?
I think there is a combination of push. Government can push these products, and they have done their best. And I'm not really being an apologist for the government, because I'm not a government spokesperson. But with all due respect, they've done the push. I'm thinking about the pull by the community. Because it's like going to a restaurant, they give you a menu.
Yes.
But it's written in Latin.
In Hindu.
Or Hindu. So we call the person, what does this mean? Oh, this means chicken. Why did you say chicken? So that's what we're trying to do like now.
Yes.
Trying to bring the language down.
Yeah.
So instead of this, can I eat this but without pili? So this is what the conversation we're having.
To make it more relatable.
But people, government will do so much, but I think the bigger part is the poor.
Is the individual.
The individual. The communities.
Yes.
And by communities, I'm meaning all sorts of faith communities. People have all sorts of communities where they sit and meet and talk about things.
And they're still very influential.
Yes, they're very influential. And all leaders, every community have community leaders. So we need to empower this and say, look, keep taking this. Of course, the problem with HIV is that when we started talking to the language sometimes, the language stigmatizes. Even a very innocent language like telling people that you behave well, so that you don't get this disease.
What behavior are you talking about? Which behavior?
Now
you have
without
to be specific.
Saying don't behave like Watiti. Watiti behaved badly and he has HIV because And yet what it is, he's saying, I also don't know I got infected.
Yes.
What do you mean? So they deny, say, I'm not. So the language used.
It matters.
So we need to work on that. But luckily we have come a long way. I'm really happy we are.
We are not negating, but we can't sing this song.
We need to.
We need to move to the next level.
Fast track, and there's such a thing as the President's Fast Track Initiative. Fast track means, for me, the way I understand it, as I'm coming, say, from Kireka, where I came from. I'm coming to do a TV show with you at 10. Then I reach in Akawa and there's a jam.
Yes.
And I can't come. So the fast track, the way I'm talking about, is I park at a petrol station.
And get a border and come.
Yes.
Yes.
The car is mine, or maybe I paid a taxi, but I need to change. We need to change.
Very quickly.
What worked yesterday may not work today.
Yes.
And works in, so we need to change and say, look, this is okay, abstinence is okay, circumcision is okay, ARBs are okay, but what else do we need to add on? Individual responsibility.
And revamping that.
And personalizing the risk. And being a neighbor's keeper.
Mindful.
And this is exactly why I chose to be open.
Yes.
Because, I mean, I'm a doctor, I was not...
You would have just, yes, you would have
just
hidden.
Gone on and I would swallow my ARBs and told this. But especially the children, when I saw children struggling, and I know children always look out for role models. They want to be doctors, they want to be the president, they want to be policemen. And if they have not seen a doctor who is HIV positive, but is doing well. So that's why I came out. And I want to challenge many people, colleagues. And I think especially parents, the parents who are out there who are positive, who are on treatment and doing well. Be a parent to these other children.
Yes.
But be a peer. As
well.
Yes, support. Yeah. Yes. That's why I wrote this book.
And indeed, we see conquering HIV and AIDS. You know, my personal experience of living with HIV. But you see, by the time Phile Bongolo Lutaya was coming out, yes, it was really all about this, I am the face. Yes? Yeah. And let's break the stigma. If it can happen to me.
Phile, by the way,
did quite a lot.
Did a lot.
He did a lot.
But he didn't have a lot of information because he didn't know. We
didn't know. But this is the difference now. Yeah. And this is why we're very excited about having this talk right now. Because when Phile came out and all these books were written, during that time, it was breaking the stigma. Yeah. Right now, you're able to write Conquering HIV and AIDS, my personal experience, because this is a different era. We have most of the information, but there is no particular personal responsibility. That one has gone down, totally down.
Yeah, we need to, of course, I don't expect all people to behave like me, to go on TV or in the news. No, it's not necessary. But we can do it at personal level. Instead of going to do public disclosure like I've done, you do disclosure to
the next person next to you.
Not to the sexual partner.
To who?
The person you're going to have sex with, or you are trying to vibe as they use the language.
Now you're getting
share
the information instead of pretending.
But that is to prevent onward or transmission. We need to be responsible at that level.
Yes. Please don't pass it on. Please don't pass it on.
But also don't acquire.
But also don't acquire.
Yes.
Don't wait for the other one. Why are you putting your life in someone else's hands? It is also your responsibility.
Don't say, this person knew they were positive, and they didn't tell me.
What about you?
What about, did you know you are negative? Did you tell them? Yes.
What did you do on your part?
What did you do? Say, yes, he knew he was on ARBs, he did not tell me. You knew you were not on ARBs.
Why did
you have to? Yes.
And please, this is something that is very serious, because we are looking at the cost implication, not only just as a nation,
we need to share
the family.
We need to share the burden.
Yes.
HIV is a very stigmatizing disease. We don't need to rub it in. People who are already positive.
And living positively.
By saying they behaved badly. Indeed, there are many people who behaved badly.
But there are others who did not.
There are many people who never know, like the children have talked about. How did they behave badly when they were in their mother's womb? Or women who were raped?
Yes.
How did they behave badly? So since we don't know who behaved what, I always say that whether you got this HIV in your bed, or in the bush, or in the boardroom,
or in the womb,
or in the bathroom, or in your mother's body, doesn't matter.
Let it stop with you.
Let it stop with you. Let's support you.
Yes.
Yeah. Let us get knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Let us empower communities.
And families.
Let us empower ourselves. See? If you're on treatment, learn how the medicines work. If you are not on treatment, find out whether you need to be on treatment. And we need to widen this, by the way, beyond HIV. Maybe it's important to look at human beings. You may not have HIV, but you have cancer. The same thing. You need to go and check early, because we know, for example,
health-seeking behavior. Health-seeking behavior.
You may not have HIV, but have diabetes.
Cancer, yes.
These are
on the increase, really, when you come to think about it.
These are what kill more Ugandans than HIV. Diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, even mental illness. You have seen so many challenges. People committing suicide.
Yes.
People behaving. And actually, even the risk of HIV increases when you have mental illness. So
because then you cannot make a guided good decision.
So we need to put this in Uganda, that actually let us look at our bodies well. Let us take
getting back to individual
and now
responsibility.
That we are so much obsessed with wealth creation, let us say that health is really indeed wealth. What's the use of getting $1 million shillings and then you will die of cancer tomorrow?
that is so true. Please take it upon yourself to
go and check.
Responsible. Take it upon yourself to actually be very keen on individual responsibility. Because if you are, then you'll take care of yourself. If you are, you'll make sure that you take care of others. Dr. Watiti, it has been short. It was such a short time.
I mean, we need to continue this.
We need to have this, and we definitely will do that. I know for sure we haven't. You wrote another one, Aging Gracefully with HIV. The next time we meet you, we are going to be talking about the segments, the segmentation
and
of the population.
Because once we treat people the way they have treated me, I started on treatment in 1999. I was about 45 years. I'm over 70. So a lot of young people who are on treatment are going to grow into old age.
Yes.
So we need to start talking about aging now. We need to prepare, because there are diseases I've talked about, cancer, diabetes.
All those, by the way,
the risk
that
of
tend to hit all these.
The risk of developing diseases increases as you grow older.
And we haven't even looked at that as yet.
We need to prepare. Yes, we need to prepare. And most of them are preventable.
Yes, very, very preventable.
They are called lifestyle diseases. When I see the way people behave, I know these are preparing for diabetes.
with the problem. Eat. I know you just refused to take the tea with sugar a couple of minutes earlier.
I like sugar, but I said, no, give me water.
I just want you, Dr. Watiti, to look right into the camera and talk to that person. We have been talking about something that is very, very core.
We've been talking about health, and I think this is the real...
The time to talk about it.
So look at your health as the best asset that you have.
Investment.
Invest in it. Go for medical checkup. Okay, we're talking about HIV. Check for HIV, but check for other diseases. Check your weight, for example. Your height, you can't do much about it. Whether it's grown tall or short. But weight. Check your pressure. Be screened for cancer. And if you have challenges, seek help. Let's use, our health system is not so robust, but it can help us.
Yes.
If we especially use it responsibly.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Watiti.
It
has been such a short pleasure having you, but we know for sure we will have another opportunity. I've been Kemcha Doreen. We have been here right now having Dr. Stephen Watiti, who is retired senior medical officer with Mild May International, right now into health promotion and advocacy, especially under HIV and AIDS. And you are quite a huge activist in regards to that. May you continue bringing about this health promotion and talking about it as it is. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
Until next time, please join us again between 9 to 10 and live a very balanced, health-seeking life. Bye-bye.
24, driving business.
3 inspired souls brought together by love are set on a life-changing journey.
This is your life, Mackenzie. This is no longer a dream.
It's just something about Mackenzie.
I'll never marry you.
Your position does not allow you to break work relationship rules.
Where choices change everything. Crossroads, a brand new telenovela starting 25th June at 8 p.m. on Pearl Magic Prime. DSTV channel 148, GoTV channel 303.
Amanya gange nze Namutebi Sharon nga nkolera wano wennyini Saka Kirombe oba Makindye. Empangula gye nawanguddemu ssente mbadde nga nkozesa mobile money nga nsindika school fees w'omwana ku ssomero. Okutegeera nti mpangudde nze mutima neegambye nti kambalinde bamale okujja ndyoke nzikirize nti mpangudde. Kyennyinza okubagamba nti si byabafere weewaawo abafere gye bali naye ennamba eri emu yokka era bw'eba ekukubidde omanya eyo si yabafere. Mpulira bulungi nnyo 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 era ndi musanyufu nnyo. Naye MTN mobile money mbebaza nnyo mwebale nnyo mwebalire.
Together we're unstoppable.
This is Jordan. When it comes to classwork, Jordan is magic. Jordan shines. Jordan makes his peers better. Jordan is a true leader. White Star Magic family. Be a leader. Be magic.
Luxury redefined at Seaside.